Are you in the middle of figuring out how to build wealth for your family and how to walk that journey? Well, stay tuned because I'm getting ready to share with you one of the greatest killers of our wealth building journey, and that's financing a car. So let's jump right into this video. I don't know about you, but I know that for myself and my family, I want to build a legacy for them. I want to leave generational wealth for them, for my children, and for my children's children. And so one way to do that is by governing our income the way we need to govern it so that we can build our legacy, because it takes money so that we can invest and so that we can buy assets so that we could fund our life right now and so that we could fund our life in our, of course, retirement years. But not only that, so that we could leave a legacy to our children. From working with many of my clients over the years with their personal finances, one of the biggest line items, child, that I have found is, can we have a drum roll, please? The car note. Yes, the car note. Right after rent or mortgage, the biggest line item is the car note. And in some instances, I've seen where the car note is larger than the mortgage. The car note is larger than the rent. And so when we're able to take control of our income by minimizing our expenses, we're able to not only fund our lifestyle in a greater way right now, but also in the future. So with the car note, when we finance the car, we oftentimes just look at the sticker price that's in the window. And when we're in need of a car, we don't consider most times the interest that's going to be added onto the car. So let's say that car is a certain amount. By the time you finish paying for the car, you're going to be paying almost for that car twice, depending on what your interest rate is. Right now in America, the average interest rate for a car loan is between 3% and almost up to 20-something%, depending on if you have good or bad credit. So my main reason for trying to avoid a car note at all costs is because it'll free up your income. And if you have more access to more of your income, then you have that same income available to you so that you could invest it for your future. You could invest it in properties. You could invest it in asset generating income. You could invest it maybe in education. You could invest it in a business. You don't have your money tied up every month between $300 and $600. Some people I've seen with $800 car notes. You don't have all of that money tied up. And so you're able to take that money and allocate it to another line item, even if it's your savings account. You can put that same amount in a savings account and you'd be amazed at how much money you would have by the end of the year just by not having a car note. So I know what you're saying. How am I going to have a car without a car note? Well, you could save for a car. Do you really have to have the 2022 version of the car that you want? Maybe you could scale back and maybe get the 2021 version or the 2020 version, or maybe you can even scale back and get a car that you could save up maybe $5,000 for, maybe $10,000 for. And that way you won't have a car note. And when you don't have a car note, it's so freeing because you don't have to worry about paying this extra $350 to $700 a month. And you can take that money and do something else with it for your wealth building. So in America, the average car note is between $350 to $650, some $800 a month. Let's say we took that same amount maybe $500 and put it inside of an S&P 500 index fund.
All right, so we're going to do a really quick example of in order to show the power of investing what you would have normally paid for a car note into a simple, let's say S&P 500 index fund or ETF. Now, even if it's not the same amount that you would use for, let's say, a car note, I'll even show an example where a minimal amount of money, how it could help to build wealth. Now, once again, I am not a financial advisor. So I do recommend following up with a financial advisor or even doing some research on your own to learn more about investing. But I'm going to show you the power of investing. So we're going to use, let's say, a nice round number and say 30 years old. And the average person retires at about 67. But just for the sake of this example, let's do 59 because you can usually withdraw your IRA retirement. Let's say if you had a Roth IRA, you can withdraw it or start withdrawing it at 59 and a half. So let's say this person is 30 years old and they invested, let's do $300 a month. Well, right here you would put zero because they are starting off with zero. Let's say they were investing $300 a month and the annual return for an S&P 500 index fund is usually between 10 and 12%. So we're gonna put it at 12%. Sometimes the funds do better than 12% per year, but we're going to roll with 12% because that's the average historically over a 30-year return. So let's calculate how much money this person would have by the time they reach 59 years old just from investing $300 a month. And you see here, this person would have $927,104. So basically they would just about be a millionaire just from investing the average amount of $300 per month. So if we take a look here, their contribution was $104,400. But because of the power of compound interest, that contribution grew more than $822,704. So when we combine those two amounts, the contribution that this person made plus the compound interest that accumulated over those years, this person practically became a millionaire. Let's take a look and see what would happen if this person waited until, let's say, 65 years old to take this money out of the stock market. They would have $1.9 million basically. Now let's play with this a little bit more just to see the power of investing. Let's say this person was 35 years old. And let's say all they had to invest was, let's do something really simple that most people can do. Let's just say $50 a month at 12%. Now you see how by the time they reach 65, they would have $174,748 just from investing $50. Now just think of the power of if that person was to double that amount or triple that amount, how this money would grow. And so $50 is a very low amount. But let's see what would happen if a person started investing at the age of 21. And let's just say, that 21-year-old was being very modest and they invested $50. We're going to calculate that. By the time they reach 65, they would have $951.46. So basically for giving up a cup of coffee, they would be able to invest in their future just from $50. Let's turn this $50 into $100. By the time they reach 65, they would have $1.9 million. Let's change this to 59. They would still be well off and almost a millionaire by the time they reach 59. So this is the power of investing.
Wow, aren't those numbers something else? just by taking that same amount that you could have been paying for a car note and putting it into S&P 500 index fund, where it's generating on average up to 10 to 12% return per year. That's mind-blowing how much money you could make. Or maybe you don't want to invest in the stock market right now. Maybe you want to consider buying real estate. Well, how much money could you have by the end of the year by saving that $350 to $500 car note that you would have had? How much money could you have by the end of the year if you took that $350 to $500 car note and saved it so that by January 1st, you could just buy a car in cash? How much money could... Now, if you already have a car note, it's fine. Don't sweat it. How about taking the time to maybe figure out a way that you can pay off the car quicker so you can get rid of that car note? Maybe pick up an extra job where you can make an extra few $100s a week to throw at the car note. Or if you have some disposable income that's in your budget right now, maybe you don't need to have your Starbucks $5 coffee every day. Maybe you can take that and sacrifice maybe your coffee run every morning and put that money towards your car note so that you could avoid the extra interest and pay off your car sooner. Because nobody wants to just throw away their money to interest. That very same interest, you could be using that to generate wealth, to generate another stream of income, or to invest in something that you want to do. Thank you for joining this episode of Terry On Demand. Why don't you do me a favor and go ahead and click that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share this video so that other people can get this great information as well. And don't forget to check out the description box so that you can get your free stock from WeBull valued up to $3,000 just by depositing 1 cent into your account. And don't forget to check out that description box as well so that you could get my new credit repair ebook. Thank you for watching.